people looked at Larry and they could see that he was sort of bedridden, and they thought, well, that's all he's capable of. He's an invalid. But I didn't believe that to be true. I thought that he was an invalid simply because he was confined to bed, not the other way around.
When Larry Perlman was first born, he wasn't given much chance for survival, but he always had ways of defying the odds. He was born with serious brain damage that affected his vision, his capability to move, and his speech. Larry lived at the Therapeutic Living Center for the Blind for 40 years until his death on September 20th, 2015. While he was there, the administration did not do much with him outside his bedroom. His cousin, Steve Pizzarni, made it his mission to get Larry out of bed as much as possible. He introduced Larry to his dog, Emma, and music with a drum.
Hallelujah, Larry. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Beautiful. You and Larry are doing a duet.
Larry formed a very special connection with Emma. But things took a turn when Emma was no longer allowed to come to Larry's home. He was finally motivated to get out of his bed in order to see her.
This was just one of many places that I would constantly be looking for to take Larry. What I observed with Larry, and I think this is true, is that his life was very limited. He rarely went out. Very few people came to visit him. And little by little, he deteriorated. But it wasn't just a physical deterioration. It was an emotional and spiritual deterioration. I think he was depressed. But I always believe that even if he couldn't see the beauty of a place like this, he could feel it. He could feel that the air was different than it was. And, you know, all of us know that being outdoors, just now we heard a bird, and we can hear the wind through the trees. So I took a chance that if we began to do more normal things with Larry, he would begin to feel more like a normal person, and he would begin to have more of a normal life. And that was my commitment. And so we were always on the lookout for places that we could come. And like right now, it's early in the day. We didn't come on weekends because we knew it would be busier, but we would come here and we would just walk around. Sometimes we couldn't stay too long because if the summertime it was so hot, but in the wintertime we would come and I would let him smell the orange trees because he could do that. And it was just one more piece of the puzzle, how to create a life of variety, a life of interest that would spark his internal interest, that would get his juices flowing, so to speak, and get him wanting to be out of that bed, because if he wasn't up and around, I was concerned that he would get sick and die much younger than necessary.
Larry's favorite music came from the 60s band Peter, Paul, and Mary. A few months before he died, Larry had the pleasure of meeting Peter Yarrow himself.
To me, being with Larry was allowing me to stand up for what I believe is good and right, and was a really great gift to me. He had a kind of joy, an excitement about him that he was capable of conveying to me, that there was something in life that was really exciting him at that time.
Steve wanted to give Larry as many normal life experiences as possible.
Larry and I would sit and we would play some music together. And it was here that a real breakthrough took place. Larry had a big ball that we found here and did some physical therapy. Even though I'm not a physical therapist, I knew that Larry needed more physical activity so his body would not be so weak, and he wasn't receiving any. So I kind of took it on myself. And we just did an isometric exercise. Big ball, he would push hard, I would push back. He would push, I would push. And the amazing thing was, in the middle of that, he let out this kind of otherworldly sound that I had never heard from him before. It was like all of this emotion that was being brought up. And I knew that something extraordinary was happening. And it was a remarkable thing. It was that very day after that event that Larry got up out of his wheelchair and walked for the first time in years. And it was almost like he needed to get in touch with that energy that was being suppressed, that was being shut down. The grief, the depression had to be released before he could regain some of its physical strength.
Something Larry's loved ones thought was long overdue and maybe impossible was a bar mitzvah for him. With the help of Steve, Larry was able to have a bar mitzvah as a celebration for his 60th birthday. Steve trained Larry for months for this big day on December 27, 2014.
After me, V'ata al te'atzvu ve'al yichar ve'nechem ki ha'el va'agalah u'vizman kari. A few short months after Larry's magnificent bar mitzvah experience, we received some very sad news that he had cancer, and this would probably be one trial he would not overcome. But we were all so grateful that he had those 3 or 4 good years of returning to life, from moving from bedridden to bar mitzvah, and of experiencing the power of joy. As Helen Keller famously said, "Joy is the holy fire that keeps our purpose warm and our intelligence aglow." And for Larry, giving him things to be joyful about truly saved his life. In the autumn mist in a land called